Hello everybody. So yesterday I showed you some of the invertebrates that I found living in my garden, and I hope you had a good time going around your outside space trying to find any invertebrates that live there. Today I'm going to show you a way that you can try and encourage more invertebrates to come together in one place in a sort of trap so that you can find them and work out what they all are. So the sort of trap that we're going to make is called a pitfall trap. And this is a little trap that's dug into the ground so that any invertebrate that's crawling along drops into it, and then you can find them and identify them. So for your pitfall trap, you're going to need a few things. The first thing you need is some sort of container, only a small one, an empty jar or a tub, anything like that that you can bury into the ground. So I've got an empty sort of margarine tub here. And then what we want to do is have something that's going to encourage invertebrates to want to go into our trap. So I've been to my compost recycling, and I've just found some bits of fruit and vegetable waste that little invertebrates might like to eat. So I have got an old banana skin that I'm going to put in, a couple of bits of melon skin I'm going to put in there. I found a few carrot tops, so I'm going to put those in, a slice of lemon, I'm going to put that in, a few bits of cut up apple core, I'm going to pop those in, and then a few slightly squished blueberries, I'm going to put those in as well. So I've made in there some nice tasty treats that hopefully invertebrates would like to come and eat, and that will encourage them when they're crawling along the ground, that will encourage them to want to go down into my trap. So the other thing you're going to need is something that you can use to dig a little hole to bury it. So I've got my garden trowel, I'm going to use that to dig my hole. And then we want to make sure that our invertebrates are safe whilst they're in their trap. So you're going to need something to cover your trap over with. So I've actually got a sort of plant pot saucer. You could have a flat stone or a flat piece of wood, anything that can cover the trap over. But we need to leave a space for the invertebrates to be able to get in and out underneath it. So you need something to be able to lift up the edge of whatever it is you're using. You could use a tray, anything that's flat. So I've actually got a bit of broken plant pot here, which I'm going to use just to prop up the lid to my pitfall trap so that the invertebrates can get in and out. So that's all of my equipment. Now I'm going to go and lay my trap, and I'll show you how to do that. So I've found this patch of ground here, which I think is going to be a good place to set my trap. It's in quite a quiet, shaded corner of my garden, so I'm hoping that there'll be lots of invertebrates living around here that I'll be able to trap and identify. So the first thing I need to do is I need to dig a bit of a hole that I'll be able to put my pitfall trap into. So I'm just going to dig out some of this soil here, and the trick is to get your container, whatever it is you've chosen, to be level with the ground. So you don't want the edge of it sticking up at all, because that might stop the invertebrates from being able to get down into it. So I'm going to dig a hole that I think is probably bigger than what I need, like that. And then I'm going to see if my container with all of my yummy invertebrate food in will fit down into my hole. Also not quite, it needs to be a little bit bigger and deeper. So it's really important that none of it is sticking up above the ground. Let's try now. There we go, that looks better. So then what I need to do is pack the soil back in. Oops, some of it's gone in. That doesn't matter if some of the soil goes into it. That really doesn't matter at all. That won't stop the invertebrates from going in. So I'm just going to fill up around the edge of my container so that it's flush and level with the ground. So a little bit more soil needed there. Some of that soil that I dug out earlier, I'm going to put back around it, pack it in tight. Just need a little bit more so that there's no gaps at all, like that. Tiny bit more around this side. There we are. So now the edges of my container are completely level with the ground. So any invertebrate that's crawling along will come to the edge of my container, smell all my yummy invertebrate food that I put inside, and want to jump down into my trap. So what I need to do is to protect them from any sunshine or any rain that might fall onto my trap. I don't want to have it open. So that's where my plant pot saucer comes in handy. So you could use anything, like I said, you could use a piece of wood, a tray, a big flat stone, anything that will protect your pitfall trap. But of course you don't want to have your protector completely flat on the ground, because that might stop the invertebrates from getting in. So what you need to do is just lift it up a little bit with something. So I'm going to use my piece of broken plant pot just to lift up the edge of my cover so that there's a nice gap around there where my invertebrates can crawl in and fall down into my trap. And hopefully, if I come back tomorrow, I'll find that I've got some little invertebrates that have wiggled their way in and are having a lovely feast on all my composting vegetables and fruits that I've put in there. So that's my invertebrate pitfall trap set. Now if you don't have somewhere where you could dig a little hole in your outside space, you can still set a trap like this. All you need is a few bits of fruit or vegetable waste. Just pop them on an old plate and put them somewhere shaded. You don't want it to be in direct sunlight, but if you've got a little shady place outside, can even be on a windowsill, you can put your plate out and you will attract some kind of invertebrates. If you leave it overnight, then come back the next day, you can see what sort of invertebrates you've caught. So if you haven't got a garden, you can still have a go at this activity. So I hope you have lots of fun doing that, and I'll be back tomorrow. Bye.